How's it going, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about heads.
Sets?
Yeah, headsets. And what you should do to keep them clean. Let's get on topic. Hey everybody, it's Thomas with Get Out Arizona, and you are watching another episode of Toolbox Topic. As I cough, I'm joined by my co-host, Brandon Van Leuven. Brandon, how the hell are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
You're doing well?
Yep,
All right. As you can see, I've got coffee in hand again. It was another late night of photography. Non-sponsored video, but if you're going to keep your coffee warm, go with Yeti. It's the only thing I use to protect my cup of joe. So, as you might have gathered, we are going to be talking about headsets today.
Yeah. How
to maintenance your headset. And again, not that head, the other head. And what you should look for signs of wear, maybe come time for replacement or something like that. It's actually a very simple procedure. I think this is going to be one of the easiest ones we've discussed as far as preventative maintenance that you can do at home in the privacy of your own garage, because that's where I take care of my headset. So, all right, enough. It's a kid's show, enough. So, innuendo. All right, Brandon. So
it is so simple that I really don't know why we haven't done this one earlier, and it's an important one too.
Right.
There's really three reasons why we would want to, crack this guy open and see what's going on inside. You would maybe hear a little bit of creaking inside there, and we want to eliminate the noise. You might feel a little bit of grindiness in the headset. You want that to be smooth, so you might want to take a look at that. Or
never want your headset to grind.
Or maybe you got caught in the weather. You had a particularly dusty, gross ride, and you just want to get in there, do some preventative maintenance, just to clean things up.
So all of those sound very good.
Yep.
And full disclosure, guys, this is actually the second time we're shooting this. The first time we shot it, it was flawless, except my jackass forgot to hit record on the audio track. We thought about doing like a Japanese dub, but that would require a lot of work. So this is take two.
Yep. It might go even smoother this time.
I doubt
Let's
it.
do it. Nah,
I doubt
I
it.
know it's going to be worse. So,
So.
First step in this procedure is we're going to remove the wheel from the fork, which is super easy to do. And since
Last
that
time
wheel
you
is
tried
out,
removing that wheel with a torque wrench, even though
not
that's a
true.
skewer, it's true. I can clip that video in and watch it.
now that the wheel is out, this is a disc brake bike. So what I want to do is use a brake block and put that inside the caliper, just in case I bump the front brake lever. Should you bump the front brake lever and depress it, it's very possible that the pistons inside the caliper, they close all the way and they don't return because they've gone too far.
Okay.
In which case you would need a pad spreader to get back in there, spread the pads.
Pad spreader.
Not a big deal, but if we don't have to do it, let's not.
Now, is the brake block a specialty tool? Is this something you can order online, or is that something you just pick up from the bike shop?
I would just go to the shop and ask if we got. These things are laying around everywhere.
Okay.
Most bike shops, I think, are the same as us. Where it's actually a part of packaging when the bike arrives from the factory.
Okay.
So we keep them and we use them for instances like this where we don't want to depress the brake.
Well, and if you're
Just
someone that
asking
travels, yeah,
either
that might
way.
actually be a good idea to have a couple handy, because if you travel and you've got your bike in a case or whatever, you can stick that in there to make sure when you get to where you're going, you don't have to try to find a pad spreader.
Yep. Absolutely. It's a great idea. Getting now into the headset, it's important to have the proper tools for this. The biggest or the most important tool you're going to want is a torque wrench, or two torque wrenches in this case for these particular jobs.
Right.
So I'm going to dive right in by just loosening the pinch bolts.
Okay.
And then I'm going to move on to the top cap. Top cap is what puts preload on the bearing, and the top cap is essentially what's holding this
Everything
whole
together.
front end together. Your
Okay.
whole cockpit staying together because of this guy. And you'll see how easily everything comes apart. This happens to be a non-threaded headset, so it's extremely simple. It's light, and it's the way most our more sophisticated bikes are going to be these days.
Right.
So removing my top cap, and if you haven't done this before, it's very important to remember the order in which these things came out. There are a few parts that are going to come out. So remember the order of which you're taking the parts out, and then also the orientation of the bearings and the parts that are the rings that are coming out.
Well, and a lot of these are also slightly tapered or beveled, so if you put them in that wrong order, that bevel's not going to line up, and
it's going to
you might be able to smash it together, but it's not going to function
bind
properly.
up, and it's not going to function properly. Correct.
Yeah.
So removing the stem out of this non-threaded system, just give it a little bit of a pop, and you'll see how easily the fork removes from the whole frame.
Oh,
and that's
You
it.
can let that hang down there.
Now this is a nice real light system, so I'm going to let this hang down. This isn't doing any harm to my cables. If things are heavy, if I have a suspension fork, I might want to support it with something so that my cables don't get kinked.
And this is one of those times, again, you know, we tell you that you don't always need a stand, a bike stand to do maintenance and everything, but again, one of those procedures where it would make life exponentially easier. So again, I'm going to put a link down to the park stand that I use. Very inexpensive. It works very well. I haven't had any problems with it. Just make your life a little bit easier when you're doing these maintenance tasks.
Good idea. So now I'm going to remember, once again, if I haven't done this before, I'm going to remember the order of which I'm removing these parts. Here's my first top cap. Here is my lock ring. And then here is the star of the show. This is my bearing.
So now the bearing was dirty, and it had just the absolute perfect amount of dirt on that thing. But again, we're recording it again. So this has actually already been, this is twice. This is twice we're doing it in one day.
This is going to be a really clean headset.
Yeah, Brandon's showing his headset a lot of love, you know, and you guys are witness to that.
Top one's out. Everything looks good. I've cleaned the bearing itself. I've cleaned the inside of the race. This particular one is a carbon frame, and the bearing sits perfectly inside the carbon frame. It's beautifully engineered, so I don't need a cup in this particular system. Looking at the bottom, I can remove this bearing, and what do you know, it's all nice and clean from the last shot.
Oh
wow,
God, man.
It's amazing.
I'll tell you what.
So the other type that you might see when you crack this guy open.
Last time you put those rings on my finger, you're gonna put, oh yeah.
That one's got some beads on it.
Yeah, it's freaking beaded for her pleasure. Yeah. Brandon, you gonna touch me today? Is today gonna be the day you put the ring on my finger? No?
That's a good move. That's a good.
start.
That's a baby step.
All right. You guys know what it really said. Oh yeah, come on, woo!
Yeah. So, if you open the thing up and you see
Last
this
time
guy,
there was 2 rings, but this one was beaded for her pleasure. So.
So you may see this. This is the little bit of an older system. This is the open ball,
Right.
Or this one's in a carrier. But same thing. Just clean it off real good. Now you're gonna really slather this guy in grease when you're done with it. Slather it. So use a bunch of grease when using this guy. On the cartridge bearings or the sealed bearings, I'm just going to use a very, very light coat on this guy.
Well, look at that little baby grease gun. You got the cap on there.
Yep.
And remember to remove the cap before you shoot the grease. Now, you know, showing those old cartridge bearings, remember those used to be in bottom brackets and pretty much everything on a bike. Have manufacturers, for the most part, moved away on all bikes, or do you still see those cartridge bearings on lower end?
We will see the open bearing. I would say not very often.
Not very
anymore.
often, so
Yeah.
they're moving to sealed all the way.
The bottom brackets are typically all cartridge bearings now. The headsets are maybe 50-50 on some of the newer ones, but I would say any of those bikes, just maybe under that $500 price point, you might see the open ball.
Might see 'em.
But anything above that, it's probably going to be a cartridge.
Man, and sometimes those were a nightmare to maintenance. You freaking open stuff, and the bearings are actually falling out. And
Yep.
ugh.
Yep. For sure. So I've cleaned the races, I've cleaned the bearing, and I put a very light coat once again. I'm remembering the orientation of the bearing when I removed it.
Right.
So I'm putting it back the way I saw it. And this all goes together so nice and easy.
And if you're wondering why these items have such a sexual name to it, it's because they were named by men. Same thing with plumbing. You know, you got a ball cock, a stop cock, friggin' flow cock. This is what happens when men are left to name certain items. This is what you get. So,
all right, everything is nice and clean. I remember the order of which these things went together, and they all went back. Non-threaded stem just pops on like that.
Nice.
And now I'm just about done. I'm using once again the top cap to hold everything together and get the preload just right. This particular top cap has a 4 Newton meter torque spec to it. So using my torque wrench, I'm going to torque it first to 4 Newton meters, but what may be even more important than the torque clicking is that you're going to want to feel it afterwards. So there's my click.
Right.
And then I just want to go through and just feel, is it too tight? Does it feel too loose? If it's too tight, obviously it's going to not run smoothly. If it's too loose, you won't be able to move if it's too loose, you will be able to move your spacer rings. So feel that as well. Give it kind of that personal touch.
And my torque wrench actually came in, guys, finally. only took Park Tools 18 months. No, I'm joking. It wasn't 18 months, but it took a while. But I mean, that's kind of indicative of all industries these days with the shortages
exactly.
and stuff. So I'll actually be able to torque my stuff properly now.
So 4 Newton meters actually feels great on this one. I'm happy with the setup there. My pinch bolts on this one are 5.2 Newton meters. So here's my perfect little Bontrager tool that's just designed for these guys. And I'm going to wait till these guys
Well,
pop.
I see you use that thing on the seat too.
You can use any 4mm.
Yeah.
At least on a Trek bike, any 4mm is going to be a 5.2 Newton meter torque spec,
Now,
which this is designed for.
Yeah, a lot of times the torque spec is going to be near the bolt that you're actually getting ready to tighten down. You can always refer to the manufacturer's website to get those specs as well.
Correct.
And we've talked about it before, but here I'll mention it again because this is it's all important, but this I would say would be more critical than the rest. These are meant to be tightened to a certain spec. Too loose, you can eat shit on the road or the trail, something falls out or something like that. Too tight, it's not going to function properly. And you can also run into issues with it binding up or possibly breaking on the trail because there's too much torque on there and it snaps. So just be aware of that when you're reassembling certain things on your bike. And in some cases too, you can damage the frame, damage the suspension. So there's a lot of things that can go wrong if you don't do it properly. This isn't plumbing. You don't need to put a 48-inch pipe wrench to that son of a bitch and put your ass into it. A little bit goes a long way, but yeah, torque wrench is definitely good to have.
Yeah. So while this is a very easy service, I mean,
right,
this is such a critical area right here. This is.
Well, it's your steering. That shit goes out while you're riding.
It's so critical. Yep, exactly.
When we kind of talk about you could ride without brakes, although it's preferable to have them. Without steering,
no.
That's a crapshoot.
Exactly. So make sure everything's torqued to the proper spec here, and it's tight and it's safe. Just be safe.
Yeah,
you'll be fine.
Absolutely.
So now that everything's together here, I'm satisfied with how clean it is on the inside. I'm satisfied that everything's nice and tight and torqued to spec. I'll put my wheel back in, and we are done with this episode.
Wow. I would say it's the fastest episode we've ever done, but Brandon and his shenanigans always gotta.
Yeah. I carry
drag
on.
it out.
I carry on.
Man, I tell ya. So, could be worse though. Could be like friggin' life goes on.
Aw, poor guy.
Dude, he's a rock star, man. He's living large.
Yeah, he's in better shape than I am.
We should be on the WB. I think we can make it happen. So the shit they got on there.
Somebody's watching. Somebody out there will recognize.
I hope so, because if those fucking homos from Global Biking Network can do it on YouTube, we should be able to rock it too. Goddamn English tarts. And again, last week I think I beat up on the Canadians or something, and this week it's the English. I don't have anything against them. It's just, it is what it is. It's freaking tea and crumpets. So, all right, I digress.
I'll just stay here uncomfortable.
You just. Anyways, no. Whatever. So, all right. So very easy to do, guys. Remember, take care of your headset. It's important. Proper amount of lubrication. Prevent creaking. So, yeah, all right. It is, huh?
I think we're good.
I think we're good. Guys, before this really starts burning up into ball flames. So, there's always links below, all right? First link is going to be Trek Bicycle Store, West Phoenix.
Thanks.
If you have any questions regarding what you saw today, you can always leave them in the comments. We'll answer with accurate information. I'm not just going to make something up. Or you can follow the link and you can give Brandon or one of his guys a call down at the bike shop. They'll be more than happy to answer your questions about this or anything that you've seen on one of our episodes. We also have links to our social media. We'd really appreciate it if you follow those links and followed us. That way you'll get the daily. The Instagram and the Facebook is loaded with all the friggin' little adventures and shenanigans we get into in between these episodes. And it's kind of fun. And some of them are as entertaining as this, but at least you know what we're up to. And you'd be like, oh man, I gotta friggin' get out and do some of that stuff. But what helps us the most, I should say, is liking and subscribing to the channel, okay? Because the links we have below, as far as items that you see and everything, those aren't affiliate links. We haven't gotten to that level of rock star status yet. So liking and subscribing to the channel really helps us out. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen today or any of our other episodes, do me a favor, do that, and I'll love you to death. So Brandon will give you a foot rub because he's got his technique down. He don't be tickling nothing. Guys, all right. Seriously though, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon so that way you get the notification when all of these new episodes come forth. And yeah, I'll have some links down below for the items that you've seen today, especially the torque wrench as a reminder and everything. And don't forget, you can ask your local bike shop for a brake block.
Oh,
Really?
we almost made it.
Almost made it. See? See, and this is what
That's what
happens.
happens when
The
you
first
carry
episode.
on.
Oh man, now we carry on. I would have remembered to record the audio for the first one, the track. We could keep it simple with just a shotgun mic, but then the audio would sound like shit, and then you got to stomach bad audio with our shenanigans. No one would ever.
The lights are
watch
going
us
to turn
at
off
that
again.
point. Not gonna turn off. Yeah, look at this guy. So, all right. Anyways, guys, what do we always ask? What do we always say? Be kind to yourself and others. Be amazing stewards out on the trail or the path, depending on where you're at. And we got to ask, what are you waiting for? Get out, Arizona. We will see you on the next adventure. Brandon, as always, thank you very much.
Yeah, man. It's great.
We'll see you next week. Take care, guys.
Bye.